everybody. Welcome to Seattle Refined. I'm Gard Swanson. It is our special TGIF edition, and we have a lot to talk about today, including new films, our June book club announcement, and even donuts, that's right, and cheese. It's time to bring in Refined.com managing editor Britt Thorson to talk all about that stuff. I can't wait to get to the donuts. But where do we start? And the cheese. Cheese on the donuts might be good, huh?
But first, let's talk about something a little bit healthier, which is this Sunday is going to be the Komen Puget Sound's Race for the Cure event. It's Sunday at 8 a.m. at Seattle Center. And remember, this is the largest fundraiser that Komen has every year. Proceeds are all invested in serving underserved women with breast cancer. So be on the lookout for a lot of ladies in pink, kids in pink, men in pink, everyone in pink, racing around town. Yeah, it's such a big event. It is.
And for such an incredible cause. All right, let's switch it up a little bit and talk movies, because we know the Seattle International Film Festival has been going strong, and they're just incredible movies left and right. Still going on.
We've got a couple favorites coming up. One of them is Landline, which is starring this young lady right here, Jenny Slate, who you might know. She is going to be hosting the Centerpiece Gala, which is following a screening of her film, excuse me. And it's about two sisters in 1990s Manhattan who discover that their father is having an affair. Don't they actually look like sisters?
They look exactly.
In real life?
That's good casting.
Right, I was going to say. I got a chance to take a look at this movie, and it's hilarious, but it also is kind of, it makes you think about like what it means when your parents make mistakes.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, takes a moment, takes it a little bit out of you.
Oh yeah, well, you know, on this show I get to do some really cool stuff. Angelica Houston is coming to town, and I get to interview her coming up in a couple of days, and I can't wait because she is an icon.
You get the best interviews.
Isn't that nice?
So Angelica Houston's new movie, it stars her and Bill Pullman as a feuding brother and sister who kind of are going back and forth while an old friend is actually caught in the middle.
Wow.
Yeah.
She is just incredible. I cannot wait to talk to her. And I have read some of the reviews here, and they said this is just an incredible story. Brother and sister going at it, though.
She's great in everything she does, let's be honest.
All right. How about the book club? You guys are busy with that.
That's right. So last night we had our book club discussion about our last month's book club, and this month we're coming up on this month's. So Elizabeth Strout's book, Anything is Possible, is going to be our read for June. Get your books now, start reading. It's an unforgettable cast of small-town characters who cope with love, loss, and the struggle to understand themselves and the people around them. We actually got to talk to the author during a recent visit to Seattle and asked her the one thing she does not do when exploring who her characters are.
Here's one of the great joys for me about writing is that I just don't judge my characters. It's like when I sit down with a page, I just transcend all judgment, and it's freeing and it's wonderful. And you know, because in real life, we're all judgmental, even if we try not to be. It's just, we just are, and it's so sad. But when I write, I'm not judging any of my characters, and so it's just, that's a lovely thing for me to be able to just say, okay, I'm just going to record you. I'm just here to speak about who you are and what we do while we're here on Earth, and no judgment.
If you want to join us for our June Refined Reads book club, sign up online at seattlerefined.com/refinedreads. And stay tuned for details on when and where we'll host our next discussion.
Oh, I know. I love that part of our show. The book club's really cool.
It is, and it's really taken off. I mean, we started with only a couple, 40, 50 people who wanted to be part of it, and we're up to like 450 now, because there are a lot of readers out there in Seattle, and honestly, who just want a great advice on a new book to read. And we've got a great partner in University Bookstore. They're always telling us who's coming up next, what big books we should have on our radar, which honestly, I would just be Googling if I didn't have them. So it's awesome to kind of have a little bit of a heads up on that.
All right, let's switch it up a little bit, because you know on this show, I love to eat. Everybody loves to eat on this show.
Me too.
How about Donut Day? Isn't that today? National Donut Day?
Today is National Donut Day, and let me tell you, it's the afternoon, but you still can have a donut. I'm a firm believer that donuts are a throughout the day and even into the night kind of a thing. And we've kind of covered a lot of donuts on this show.
This is down in Portland.
This is Voodoo down in Portland, which you got to eat. I still have never had a Voodoo donut. I'm a little bitter about it. But there also are tons of donut coverage that we've done up here in Seattle. We've got Top Pot, we've done Rodeo. We've got, I mean, literally all of the possible donuts you could want. Just literally go to our site and search donuts, and you'll probably get 15 to 20 articles pop up. We have a problem.
You know, I love donuts. I love all flavors, but I have, you know, if I just have an old-fashioned glaze, that'll keep me happy. Just old-fashioned glaze and a hot cup of coffee.
I like a cinnamon sugar sprinkle on mine. That's my go-to.
All right. Well, another favorite of the Refined team is cheese, and Sunday is National Cheese Day. And if you love melted cheese and don't know about raclette, it's time to get you informed. It's big in Europe, but this exotic treat is almost impossible to find in Seattle. That's until Refined found Fire and Scrape.
You can see right in here, it's starting to bubble.
But once this starts to melt, it just starts to smell beautiful.
If you love melted cheese and don't know about raclette, it's time to get informed.
It is the Swiss tradition from the late 1200s, and they literally would melt cheese at the fire and serve it over a different set of all sorts of foods.
Beth Ringland and David Pyle may be the cheese saviors of Seattle. They have finally brought this sacred, gooey goodness to the Emerald City.
About 6 or 7 years ago, I went to the Borough Market in London, and you walk in and you're just immediately hit with this wonderful smell of melting cheese. And so I was like a zombie trying to find the source of this cheese. So I came upon it, and they had several machines lined up, and they were melting raclette. I really felt that Seattle needed such a thing.
Beth and David did their research, got the gear, and started up a small business called Fire and Scrape. They are the only melted raclette game in town.
So right now we're in the Sunday Fremont Market every week. We do it on traditional plates with potatoes or a baguette option that we have.
This, you know, is just such a viral way to present cheese, and it's a whole wheel of melting cheese. And so they, much like myself, they're just drawn to it when they walk by our booth. And so it's a wonderful thing to see. You've got this whole group of cheese lovers that we're trying to tap into, and they're not letting us down.
Not only is it delicious, but fun to watch. And the raclette business is so good, Beth and David added a pop-up restaurant and catering events to feed the demand.
We're just going to continue to bring different parts of the city this raclette wonder, because it's just beautiful to witness, it's beautiful to smell, and best of all, it's beautiful to eat. You know, the steamed potatoes with the cornichons and onions are the classic way. Okay. That's how they do it in Switzerland, and that's good enough for them. The apples, the local organic Fuji apples, are fantastic with it.
We've had someone bring their tamale from the booth down from us and ask for cheese on his tamale, which we did.
Yeah, our motto is we'll put a scrape on that. We'll put a scrape on anything, you know.
But if you try melted raclette, just remember one thing.
It waits for no one. That's what we tell people. It's trying to get back to this shape as soon as it possibly can. So, and when it's a cold day in the Fremont Market, it's, you know, if you order 2 plates, don't wait for your friends, because you've got to go in now.
Raclette. Say it like that. Raclette.
Raclette.
Is that how
Gotta
you
roll the R's. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying.
It looks fantastic.
Oh, it doesn't look. It's like I want some cheese right now and donuts.
Yeah, a lot of people want cheese, especially you got a big festival coming up.
So they just announced that tickets are actually on sale now for probably the best festival that exists, in my humble opinion, the Washington Cheesemakers Festival. Tickets are on sale now, but you have to wait until September 9th to actually go. But we thought we'd let you know because, you know, National Cheese Day is coming up.
Yeah, and if you know somebody who doesn't like cheese, something's wrong with them, don't you think?
Yeah, they should really go see a doctor or something, because that's not normal.
And if you don't like donuts, you're a weirdo if you don't like cheese and donuts.
But we still love you, promise.
All right, how about some cool cocktails?
So this is another thing. I love seeing what does well on our website, and this kind of says a lot about, I think, how intimidated people are about making summer cocktails. We had a post up that literally, it said,
Ooh,
3 cocktails that anyone can make this summer, literally anyone. And it got so many clicks last week, and I think it's because so many people are really taken aback by how many cool, fun, new, hip happening things are. It's like, just keep it simple. Just do a gin and tonic or a gimlet or an Aperol spritz. And those were the 3 that we said, literally, anyone can make them. Here are the steps. There's no more than 3 steps. You know, if you're having trouble with it, then you got to re-examine your life a little bit, like with a gin and tonic. Like, how many different ways are there to mix up a gin and tonic? Well,
you know, I love mojitos, so I decided to grow some mint, and now the mint's everywhere. It's taken over my yard.
I would love some. You've never offered once. You've never offered once for some mint. I love it.
All right, Britt, have a good weekend.
Thanks, you too, Gard.
Britt Thorson, managing editor, SeattleRefined.com. All right, Seattle Refined is just getting started. Coming up, we're looking for miracle makers, how you can help a local child in need. But first, a new film about a local man in the fight for his life. We'll sit down with the man behind The Cage Fighter and the film's director next on Seattle Refined. Here at Seattle Refined, we never get tired of hearing from you. Like us on Facebook, tweet us your story ideas, or shoot us an email telling us what you want to see on the show. You can find our inbox at hello@seattlerefined.com. Seattle Refined will be right back.
If you...
Hey everybody, welcome back to Seattle Refined in our special TGIF edition. Over the last couple of weeks, we've been giving you an inside look at movies featured at the Seattle International Film Festival. In The Cage Fighter, a local filmmaker tells the story of a man who sets aside his passion for the sake of his family, but must ultimately face his inner demons. It is a good one, folks. Joining us now to talk about this is film director Jeff Unai and Joe Carmen, really the star of the show. So nice to have you guys on board today.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the film. Tell me what it's about in 15 seconds. I mean, this is a good one.
15 seconds, you know, it's a guy just trying to find himself, you know, just like we all are. Someone that's going through, you know, a tough period in his life, and you know, I'm just very grateful that he's allowed me to be a part of it and be there with a camera and showing up every day for 3.5 years. Yeah.
So how did you come up with the idea? Did you just wake up one morning and say, oh, this sounds like a pretty good idea to do this film?
You know, a lot of it comes down to just, you know, meeting Joe, you know, our first interaction. You know, he was someone that was very open with his story from the beginning, and I just was connected with him a lot because I'm a father, and you know, he's a father, and we just connect on that level, and that's very much what this film is about. It's about family and fatherhood.
So Joe, tell me a little bit about, I mean, you're the star of this film. I mean, what was it like? Because I mean, this hits home directly with you.
Yeah, pretty surreal. The experience itself has kind of changed the way I look at things now. Imagine have your whole life filmed for years, and then go back and watch situations where you may not want to watch again. So it kind of changes the way you look at things.
And when you guys shot this, it wasn't like you're a paid actor or anything. This is your story, and you and I kind of laughed before the show started because you're not an actor.
No.
You are a cage fighter and a family guy.
That's it, yeah.
Wow, now was that difficult to say, Joe, okay, we're doing this scene, or how'd that whole thing work?
You know, I think a lot of it just comes down to trust. And, you know, this film was shot, for the most part, just myself, you know, manning 6 lavalier mics, just a camera, and just being present and just always being there. And you know, throughout this entire filming process, almost 4 years into it, you know, they never told me to turn the camera off.
So you shot for 4 years this
just
film?
About 3.5 years, yeah.
And then how much film are you talking about? How many hours?
About 420 hours of 4K and 5K, you know,
wow.
footage, yeah.
And then you have to go through all that, and then you whittle it down to, what, 80 minutes or so?
81 minutes is the final film, yeah.
And then you're making all the decisions on what gets into the film. But was there stuff on the cutting room floor going, gosh, I would love to put that in, but we don't have time?
Yeah, a lot.
A lot.
There's many things covered in this 3.5 years. But yeah, no, you have to make some hard decisions. You know.
Joe, what was the toughest scene for you to do?
Anything with my kids.
Yeah.
It's because like to be able to see like a reaction that you don't get to see, like behind the scene kind of action, and to see how they feel about stuff, that's what kind of hurt me the most. So but you learned.
Yeah. Was there ever a scene where you're shooting and go, oh, we can't use this because it's way too emotional, way too over the top? Or, oh, there's not enough here? Did you have to direct that way?
Yeah, no, it was tough. I mean, you know, there are definitely some emotionally charged scenes in the film, you know, and I have to say everyone was very emotionally honest while making this. And, you know, to be able to tell this story, you know, the way that I felt like would actually be able to reach people and connect with audiences is sometimes you have to go through those moments. I mean, I'm a guy with a camera, but you know, I'm not just a cameraman, I'm a human being. So when they're struggling, you know, it affects me as well. But I always have to remember about the audience, and there's people that this film, I think, you know, can reach. And yeah.
Joe, I have to ask you this, super emotional for you. In a weird way, was it therapeutic for you to do this film and just how you relate to your life now?
Oh, tremendously. That was the whole reason why I kind of agreed to it. We only let people see like the one side of us. So when Jeff came with the idea, like, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it like glass, you know, house full of mirrors, everything can be seen, so.
Yeah. Do you still fight?
You got to watch the movie. Watch the movie.
All right, June, I heard the Cage Fighter is an incredible film. I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen clips of it, but I haven't seen the full thing. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
you today.
Thank
All right,
you.
good job. I love it. That's a lot of shooting, my man. All right, again, thanks for joining us. Again, you can see the Cage Fighter this Sunday at the Kirkland Performance Center at 3:30 p.m. Coming up on Seattle Refined, an annual event near and dear to our hearts here at Como. How you can become a miracle maker and help children just by picking up the phone or logging into your computer. We're going to tell you all about that when we come back. Welcome back to Seattle Refined. I'm Guard Swanson. Seattle Children's Hospital provides hope, care, and cures to help children live the healthiest life possible. But hospital staff could not do their amazing work without the generous donations received every single year. Joining me right now is Como News meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell to talk about miracle makers and this incredible telethon that you're a huge part of. You're hosting this thing, and this is a big deal for you, isn't it?
It is a big deal. You know, Steve Poole has hosted it for many, many years, and I had thrown my name in the hat last year to help out because Seattle Children's just, for me personally, holds a very dear place in my heart, and I wanted to help out however I could. And yeah, I have some personal stories with Seattle Children's and definitely want to give back.
And you know what's funny? We took our daughter over there about 4 or 5 months ago. I have to say, she had a little procedure done.
Right.
It was the most professional, friendly thing that we've ever done with a hospital.
Right.
It was incredible what they're doing over there.
They do incredible work, whether you just come in, you know, with an accident on a weekend and they've got their special clinic, or of course children there with much more serious issues, and they just have it wired there. They know what they're doing, they make everybody comfortable, and they do the best work possible.
I know so many thousands of families go to Children's. And what's the deal with the Olsen family? I know you know a little bit about that story.
Yeah, the Olsen family, we're showcasing a couple of different personal stories this year with people that have had some long-lasting problems that they needed some help for, and they turned to Children's with their needs. The Olsen family, now get this, Guard, they have one daughter of their own, one biological child, but this is a special family. They adopted 5 special needs children from China, brought them over here, and the youngest daughter, her name is Rinny, rhymes with Minnie Mouse, little Rinny Olsen. Well, she had the most complex problem, a heart condition, and she had to undergo a heart transplant when she was only 2 years old. And her health was so compromised that other hospitals were turning her away, turning her down for the transplant. They thought it was going to be,
you know,
look at what they do. Isn't that incredible?
It is incredible. And I don't know how they
complex.
keep it all straight, too.
I don't know. They absolutely know what they're doing. Their Children's Hospital here took it on and knew they could help her out, and they decided to undergo the transplant. And even though she was extremely high risk, little Rinny underwent the transplant, and now she's doing fine today.
Wow.
So,
you know, and when you walk through Children's and you see just the cool things they are doing over there, it is heartbreaking, though, when you see all the kids in there. But thankfully, there's a hospital like Children's that provide so much great care and what they give out. So, Shannon, if somebody wants to donate some money, they're going to watch the telethon. How do they go about doing that?
So this is from 8 o'clock until 10. It's a 2-hour program. We do it every year here, and we'll be having the telethon going, and people can call in. They can send in their donations online as well, and it's a huge way of how they raise money every year for mainly the Uncompensated Care Fund, but also for research, for special needs cases, for medical equipment, and so on and so forth.
Shannon O'Donnell, and again, a huge telethon here on Como 4. You're going to be hosting with Steve Poole.
That's right. Looking forward to it.
All right. Thank you so much, Shannon.
Sure.
And there's more Refined coming straight ahead. Don't go anywhere. We're just about finished with this episode of Seattle Refined. Now, as we end the show, here are some of our favorite photos and moments of the week. Have a great Friday and a weekend, everybody.